Hi everyone, my name is Tara Brewster, and I am an ex-co-owner of Jackson & Connor, which was a men's clothing store in Thorns Market right behind us. So just a quick background on me, 'cause obviously I'm not an entrepreneur anymore, but I'll always be an entrepreneur at heart. We opened the store in 2008, and I had a business partner, wonderful business partner. We decided we were going to get into men's clothing. We had been in men's clothing previously, but we had never owned a store, so we said we're going to do this. We opened up a store in Thorns Market, and 6 years later, it'll be our 6th anniversary in March. We sold the store in November, and it was a crazy long road, lots of peaks and valleys. We opened as the recession was just starting to take shape and take form, so I think probably I was one of the last small business loans to anyone in Western Mass before they stopped lending to everyone. So it was crazy. I mean, it was definitely a wild ride, and for all intents and purposes, we were successful. And sort of my story that I wanted to convey to you was sort of the question of having a business partner, not having a business partner. I feel like when I was getting into business, I was thinking about, okay, what do I want to do? What are my goals? Okay, I want to own a store. How many hours is that store open? Okay, do I want to take out a loan? Yes, I do. Do I want to have someone else on the hook with me? So all of these things kind of came up for me, and you don't know what you don't know until you know, right?
Yeah.
So, for me, I was looking for a business partner that could help me cover the hours at the store, that could help me train in men's and sell on the floor and talk to customers, sort of with a background in men's apparel. These things that you sort of look for that, you feel like or you think what you're doing or what you're looking for, but you don't necessarily know. So for me, it was really important to sort of get like the base things to happen when I was looking for a business partner. But, I think looking back on it now, having sold the business and not having a business partner anymore, I think that having a business partner really is like having a marriage. When they say, you're married to your business, well, you're also married to your business partner. For me, I guess I didn't really realize how intense the relationship would be because, the relationship is this person that you're with all of the time. You're always talking about something, money, work, stressful. So for me, you have to think of a business partnership sort of as a marriage without all of the benefits. Right? You're always talking about finances. You're always talking about who did this, who didn't do that, who's working harder, who's not working hard enough. There's always that sort of push and pull if you've ever been, in a marriage or a long-term relationship, or even with your parents or a roommate. There's always laundry to be done, or dirty dishes to be done, or who didn't pick up after themselves, that type of thing. So I feel like for me, it's always sort of been a very eye-opening experience having a business partner now, because now you really know. Now okay, if I was to do it again, what would I do? Would I ask the same sort of questions? Would I ask, what does your long-term commitment look like? How long do you think that this is going to last? What is your work ethic? Are you a hard worker? What does your week look like? Are you, a 20-hour-a-week person? Are you a 40-hour-a-week person? So all of these things sort of come into play now that you have hindsight and looking back on everything. So for me, basically what happened was year 3 of our business, my business partner came to me and said, this is a lot, this is really stressful, it's a lot of time, it's not a lot of money, every week we're sort of like, can we take money, can we not, it's very stressful, I want to give you 2 years notice, I'm all done. So for me, I thought, and of course, like we never had anything in writing about, how long this business was going to go, because we didn't know what a business partnership agreement really was. We were sort of like, yeah, cookie cutter, offline, like this is great, we'll sign it, we're done. So for me, she said, I'm all done in 2 years, I'm giving you 2 years notice. So figure it out. figure out if you want to continue this business, if you want to have a going out of business sale, if you want to find another business partner, if you want to buy me out, this is how much you can buy me out for. If you want to bring on investors, what you want to do. So for me, it was sort of a blessing and a curse to be given this gift of, okay, my business partner isn't happy anymore, she's all done, she wants out, she's giving me 2 years notice, what do I do? So it was this extreme crossroad for me because I love Jackson and Connor like it's my first baby. I mean, I didn't have a baby at this time. I was thinking about having a baby at this time. That was sort of the whole other piece that was going on. But for me, it was really crazy making. I mean, I was sort of having to say to myself, okay, what do I want? What do I want for my life? Do I want to own this business by myself, go back into debt to get rid of my business partner, bring on other people to have this business partner relationship with, which is like having multiple husbands and wives, because even though they're silent partners or they're investors, they still have a voice, they still have money in the business, they're still committed to wanting to know your numbers. So I feel like for me, it was just insane. I mean, I was at a total crossroads in my life, and I would make one decision and then change my mind. And then I would decide that no, this way was the right way, and then I'd come back again. It was just, I've never done that in my life. I'm one of those people that once I make a decision, that's it, it's done, I move on, that's the direction, that's it. So for me, this whole conversation was just very, very difficult. And my husband was like, oh my God, we just need to make a decision. Whatever it is, I stand behind you. But this back and forth and this, this isn't like you, what are you doing? And I couldn't decide. So in the end, I decided that, okay, I had 2 years, she wasn't going anywhere for 2 years. Basically, I could do what I wanted and sort of take my time to make this decision. So I decided to get pregnant. Right? Why not? My business partner wasn't going anywhere. I could have her to fall back on. The business was, it was sort of moving in this very fluid, safe way. Decided to get pregnant, had a baby in March of 2012. 13, thank you. I'm like, what year is it? Last year, last April, so she's 9 months old now. And it was great. I mean, I sort of had the room to step back and have my baby and think about what I wanted to do next, see how stressful it was, because it's so scary to be an entrepreneur and to be a business owner and to say, okay, my fake baby, my business baby over here is going to be replaced with a real baby. And what is that going to look like? Because I had given my all to Jackson and Connor. There was no one else that came before Jackson and Connor. Even my husband, my family, everybody, it's all under the store. And they knew that. They were okay with that. So for me, the baby would definitely supersede Jackson and Connor. And then what? How would it be? Would it be doable, not doable, whatever? So it was great. I had the baby, was back to work in a month, sort of making it all work. Because I had to. I missed the store. I missed the store. I really wanted to go back. So basically made it work, and it was just crazy. Having a kid is nuts. I mean, it is the most insane thing that I've ever done, and I've done a lot of insane things. Really. But, it worked. It was great. And then it sort of also gave me a perspective to say, you know what? I don't want to own the store by myself. I don't want to go back into debt. I don't want to work 75 hours a week and not see my kid and not see my husband and not have, and also not have either my baby or Jackson and Connor be happy with me. I mean, both of them would be like, wait, what about me? I'm over here. Why aren't you taking care of me? So we put the business up for sale secretly, because you don't put things up for sale and let everyone know, because then they stop shopping with you, and then that totally deflates your revenue stream, and that's not a good thing. So it was hard. We were for sale, but we couldn't tell anyone we were for sale. The whole time I was sort of trying not to think about the worst case scenario, which was having a going out of business sale, because that was essentially like shovel in hand, dig in the grave for your baby. It was very emotionally draining for me. So We put the business up for sale and nothing happened, and by the last gunshot, our last buying trip in August when we went to Vegas, my business partner said, okay, this is it, like going out of business sale in 2 months, like we need to start buying for it, like done. And so we came back from Las Vegas and I said, okay, really sad, this is what's gonna happen, great. And I was talking to our employee, basically the whole time, kind of keeping him abreast of what was going on. And he just looked at me and said, Tara, this cannot happen. This absolutely cannot happen. Jackson and Connor cannot go away. I need you to make a phone call for me. So he gave me the number of his dad, who was, who was a big executive hospital administrator in the Midwest. And I ended up speaking to him for 3 hours on the phone that day, out underneath the bridge in Thorns back there. And told him about our store, told him, you know, how great of a business it was, told him our numbers, told him all this stuff. And he said, it sounds like a great business. I said, Leo, it is a great business. And he said, send me your financials. So 2 months later, they were purchasing and selling the store. We were essentially selling them all of it because, I mean, this conversation was supposed to be about my business partner, but or your business partner relationship. But really, at the end of the day, you know, I just looked and I said, okay, I need to get out. Like, I need to have the space to not be an owner and not have another business partner, because essentially it is just a really, really difficult situation. In the end, our employee Will ended up buying all of the store, so he's the sole owner of Jackson and Connor. He loves the business. I mean, it is like, I get to work with him all the time, and it is so touching to see him in the store and just like being dapper and being fabulous and being the owner and loving it and owning it and just taking such good care of it. My business partner got to leave with money in her pocket, 100% out, and I got to stay. I'm now a consultant for the business. I'm on 40 hours a week still. My contract ends in February, but it was a great thing because I was able to sort of wait and sort of push back and not really make a decision. I mean, having the hindsight now of being in the position that I'm in, to get the money for the store, to be able to work a new job title, retail consultant or whatever, into my long list of what I've done with my life. I just feel very blessed to still be able to be there when customers come in and when people say, oh wait, you're not the owner anymore, and I sort of am there as like this surrogate caretaker, like ex-mom of Jackson and Connor, to be able to say no and to be able to transition my head and my mind out of the business. But it's just, you know, you never know until you know, and I just feel like a lot of times in life we just really want to make a decision, and we're like hammering to sort of come up with something, but really in the end, I feel like if you take a step back and just sort of let some things happen and let a flow happen and let what's going to happen, sometimes it's not that bad and sometimes it works out for the best. So in closing, I guess I just wanted to really drive home that having business partners is a great thing if you know specifically what you're looking for, if you're very clear on knowing that this is a true marriage that you're getting involved with. I think that if you can have some sort of agreement written up, and you know, when you get married, you have prenups maybe, or you have agreements maybe on paper with your lawyers. Do that with your business partner. You know, think about your worst case scenario. Like, what if you die? What if you don't want to do this anymore? What if, you know, you only want to work part-time? You know, all of these things. You really need to think about all of these things, because in the end, when someone decides that they're done or something happens and you have to get out of it, it's a very tangled web of how do I unravel this, and what part do you own, and how do we make decisions, and all of this. So, yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, even though I sort of told the story about the store. But yeah, and that's it.